Right, I literally can't think of how to start your first YouTube video without being like, hi, my name's Poppy, when it literally says down below, Poppy's Brain. So, hi, my name is Poppy. Welcome. I have wanted to make a YouTube channel for a while, and not kind of your typical like girly beauty thing, but I want to make one on mental health and kind of document my mental health and my mental health recovery and sharing my tips and advice and stuff like that on mental health. So yeah, I mean, I know I'm not going to be like the best quality YouTuber in the business and stuff like that, but I will try to make my videos watchable. But yeah, I want to keep it quite real too, and I feel like there is so many YouTubers and that they're lovely and everything like that, and they can talk and stuff about mental health, but because it can just feel a bit, not fake, but like it's just all set up so lovely and la-di-da. I mean, I will try, but I want to keep it real and not be perfect in every single video and stuff like that. Like, it's like 3,000 million degrees right now and I'm literally sweating. That is why I've got my hair up. I am aware I look like an egg, and I've also got fake tan on my dress here, so that's you know, we're keeping it real. So anyway, I was wondering what to talk about at first, because I didn't want to do my mental health story thing, because I feel like when you do those, they are quite long videos, and obviously for my first video I don't want to bore everyone to death with me having a ramble on about myself. So I thought I would do a quick like key facts about me, and then I've also on my Instagram, which is at poppysbrain, asked for some questions that people want me to answer, and yeah, so it's kind of a bit about me, a bit about people who are wondering, then me, my views. So I don't know, I'll try to put like a bit of everything in, so hopefully you can see what I want to make of this channel. Yeah, I'm not doing it anything for like, you know, because I want to be like, oh, look at me, I'm a YouTuber. I just generally really want to help people, because I know the struggle and I know the pain and I know the like bumminess of it and how horrible it is. And I don't feel, there are some mental health kind of YouTube channels, but I don't think there's that much. If you think about it, how many like beauty ones, or how many gaming ones, or how many this or that, and then you think compared against mental health ones, it's literally nothing, when actually mental health is something that everyone has, but it doesn't affect everyone in a way where they're struggling with it as such. And but it does, you know, it affects 1 in 4 people, where it does start to make them not be able to do the things they want to do and kind of take over their life. So I think everyone, well, either watching this or everyone knows someone in their family or themselves, their friends, that does struggle with a mental health problem. And even if they personally don't, I want to be able to help others, to help other people, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's a quick little disclaimer thingy. Obviously I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counsellor, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not anything like that. I'm a human being, and I have not been trained in any way about mental health. The only training I've got is through my own experience. And do you know, I think sometimes the people who go through stuff know the most. Not that I'm saying I'm going to be a psychologist, but you know, I think the people who struggle, they know what it feels like and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm 16. I have just done my GCSEs, so I will be going into sixth form, year 12 college thing. I started struggling with mental health when I started secondary school. You'll find out I'm not the most intelligent, as in common sense. I went to a grammar school, but I don't really have the most intelligent brain / common sense. So yeah, so I am a bit kind of not the cleverest about certain stuff, but I passed the Kent test to get into a grammar school. I don't actually. In year 8, on the second day of year 8, I had my first ever panic attack. Me being a bit stupid. I didn't know what that was. I was literally there like, what's wrong with me? I thought I was dying, literally. I thought I was just ill because mental health in my family, it didn't get spoken about. If you had a problem that was kind of related to your brain, it was because you're on drugs or you drank or you this or you that, you know. It's, and obviously that's not true at all, but it's just a thing I was brought up with, so I was a bit thick pretty much about stuff like that, so I didn't really know what was going on. But anyways, so I started having panic attacks then. In year 7 I was diagnosed with dyslexia, which wasn't a shock to me. My writing, spelling is atrocious. I did want to have a blog, but then I realised that nobody would actually read it because it made no sense what I wrote, because I don't make sense when I write. So yeah, so I don't know if being dyslexic, kind of that thing, kind of, there was a bit of kind of certain girls didn't understand me being dyslexic and stuff like that and being in a grammar school. But yeah, and then I also started self-harming in year 8, and it just built up and built up and built up, and I was kind of in and out with like unhelpful eating disorder, and then in year 9 my eating disorder really kind of kicked off in a way, if that makes sense. And that's when I had the crisis team involved then, and I kind of had one ear like, if you don't eat you're going to be like put in hospital, and if like your mood needs to get better, it was like they were all like, oh, and I was like, please go away, leave me alone. I was in and out of A&E all the time. I was literally just at crisis all that time. Then in year 10 everything was just pretty much the same, and then in year 11 literally in September I was admitted into the adolescent mental health unit. Obviously I do want to talk about my mental health story more, but I feel like as a first video I don't want to make it too rambly. But yeah, I was suicidal, I was actively suicidal, and I did need some help. And yeah, I do want to do a video on my experiences as inpatient and stuff like that, so let me know if you want me to do one. But anyways, so I'm going to answer some of the questions I've got asked, and yeah, I've got them down here. I know, very fancy. All of these questions, they were from Sahara, if that's what it's called. I've not got a clue. Just so people could ask them, what's the word? Confidentially. Anonymously, that's the one. So people would ask me questions anonymously, because I know a lot of people are embarrassed about asking the questions because they think, oh, well, I don't know if they think this, but I think it's kind of thing of, oh, well, Poppy knows who I am, Poppy knows I've asked me this. But I really wouldn't judge anyone for asking something. I would love to be able to help in any way. But anyways, so the first one, which it was actually one of the first questions I saw. When I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I was like, literally no one, I feel like nobody really speaks about this, and I just wanted to answer it and talk about it. But it was, do you find it hard to maintain relationships, friendships or romantic with people due to your mental health? Yes, 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 and yes. I think this is something that, it annoys me so much. Like, I annoy myself with it, because I feel like I try to be friends with someone, but then I worry that like they're not going to understand me, and then all of it, if I'm having a bad day, they won't understand like I'm having a bad day, and they're just kind of, they're like, oh, get a grip, like whatever, because I have emotional dysregulations. So literally I'm like, woo, I'm all over the place, and I can literally walk out of the room without being really happy, walking to the next room, and I'm just flat for no reason. It's really annoying and stuff like that. And obviously, and I can see it as somebody, a peer around me, it's a posh word, peer, you know, they would be there like, what's wrong with her, like she was happy a minute ago. So I think that's something that I do find really hard with, and I feel bad if I'm like really friendly with someone, because I'm like, oh, I can't be like a proper best friend, or I can't be a proper friend like everyone else is. Like, I realise everyone else is friends and everyone else is best friends, and I'm like, I can't be that type of friend. So yeah, that's something that I do find hard, really hard friendships. And in September when I start sixth form, I'm like, oh god, because people like me when, especially when I'm on one of my highs. But with me, I have highs that are higher than me feeling happy, so it's like I just keep going and going and going and going, and I don't realise I am that high really. I've got better at kind of coping and stuff like that with it, but still when I'm on a high, I feel people are also around me, they encourage me because they're like, oh great, like obviously you like to be around people who are happy and all this and that, so they can kind of encourage it more and more. And then when I drop, it's such a drop and it's out of nowhere, and it's just, you're with somebody and all of a sudden you literally feel crap, and like it's awkward because you're in a situation, you can't just be like, oh sorry I need to go now, you just don't know what to do. So yeah, friendships I do find hard, and relationships I do find it even harder, because I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody, you're meant to be like, well not connected, but you're meant to be kind of there together type of thing. And with a friendship, if you're not with them 24/7 as much, it's not as kind of, it doesn't, I don't know, you don't kind of think more of it. But when you're in a relationship, you're meant to be more closer than that friendship, and that's meant to be that extra close thing. And then when you can't kind of feel close to them, not because of them, because of yourself, you feel bad. And I've always just been there like to the person, do you know what, you go find someone else, like don't bother with me, because like you deserve to be able to go out. Cause like I don't want to go out, if somebody goes to me, oh let's go to the cinema, I'll be like, no thank you, do not go there. I won't want to go out, and then I'm like, well there's somebody else out there who they could be going to the cinema with, so I'm like, just go off, you know, it's not fun hanging around me or doing this or doing that. So I do really struggle with relationships, and obviously it's something I want to be able to have a relationship and stuff like that, but I do really struggle with it because I just don't know how to deal with it and how to explain it to the person and stuff like that. So yeah, how would someone know if they're depressed? Because if you've been feeling down for quite a while, how do you know it's depression rather than just feeling down? When somebody actually asked me this, I did touch on it on my Instagram, but I just realised there's a dog barking, and probably it's barking throughout the whole video. Well, we're keeping things real on here, guys. You know, I live in a where there's houses and dogs. I think that's something. I think that's quite a good question. Like, how do you know if you've got depression or if you're just feeling down? I think obviously it depends how long you've been feeling down for. I mean, everyone's going to feel down. It's not normal to not feel down. Everyone has low days, everyone has bad days. And I think when it becomes more depression is when those lows are getting in the way of your normal day-to-day activity and getting in the way of you doing stuff. And I mean, I also think people think, oh, if you're depressed you want to kill yourself, which is not true whatsoever. But I kind of, when I'm having my lows, like my proper lows, I literally feel empty. I feel like that feeling when somebody's died, it's like a pain almost in my heart. It just feels so empty, and literally my body everything's empty and heavy, and there's just, there's just no light, there's no sparkle, there's no nothing. It's just this really empty, painful feeling. It's just like total despair, I feel. It's just sadness and empty and kind of anger. It's just everything kind of that's a negative emotions, and it's just literally there and dragging, and I just can't, there's no like positives or anything like that. And I think that's the main thing I feel when I am low, is emptiness and just kind of that not knowing who I am and stuff like that. So what do you think the right balance is between letting friends know how you are feeling and being a burden instead of just keeping silent? Again, obviously with the whole friendship thing, I think this is really hard, because you as a friend and your friends as a friend, you're meant to look out for each other, you're meant to care for each other, you're meant to be there for each other and supportive and stuff like that. And when you do have a mental health problem, it becomes harder, because it's like that extra thing that friend has to then think. And sometimes it's not like because your friend doesn't care about you or doesn't like you, it's just because they don't know what to say. Like sometimes, you know, people will say stuff like, I have friends with mental health, and my friends with mental health, sometimes they'll ask me questions or tell me how they're feeling or something like that, and sometimes I haven't got a straightaway answer or straightaway blasters. So it is normal. Even I don't think some like psychologists and stuff, when I see my psychologist, I don't think he's like straight off the top of his head can think of an answer all the time and stuff like that. It's normal, and I think it is, as a friend to that friend, you don't know what's the best way to deal about it and deal with the situation, and you don't want to say the wrong thing. So sometimes people don't talk about it, or when you start talking to them about it, they don't say much just because they don't know what to say. But I do think you should talk to your friends how you feel, because your friends are the people who, you know, they see you a lot, they're similar ages to you and stuff like that, and they're kind of, especially if you're friends at them at school, you know, they see you literally 5 out of the 7 days a week, and they're going through the same stuff as you, not like necessarily mental health wise, but teenage wise or school wise or home wise, stuff like that. So I would say it is really important to talk to them, and for your friends to be supportive, and your true friends, they will stick by you and they will listen to you. And I've learned that so much. The people who are my true friends, literally, they don't care. They don't. You'll say something, they'll just be like, okay, whatever. And they just, when I've been like, I can't go out with you, they just turn and get angry. But your true friends will understand, because they would want, you know, your true friends, they love you, they want to be your friend, and they care about you. And yeah, and I think it is also hard when you are a teenager at secondary school. People, especially girls, I mean, girls and friendships, let's be honest, it's like, we're horrible to each other. Everyone just wants to like murder each other 24/7. So I think that doesn't help. But I think you will find out who your true friends are, and there's a friend for everyone out there. Personally, I wouldn't say myself I've got loads of friends, but the small amount I have got, I know they are my true proper loyal friends, and they know who they are. And yeah, so I think that's what I would say. But also, you're not a burden to anyone. Like, if you need to talk to someone, you talk to someone, and even if your friend can't help you, your friend will help you to go to the right direction to speak to somebody, in the right direction to talk to somebody. So you're never a burden. Don't think, I know the feeling so much when you literally feel like that I can't talk to them, they don't like me, they're going to think I'm annoying. I just know it, I know the feeling, but you're really not a burden whatsoever. So please don't worry about that. And don't keep silence. Silence is not allowed at all. If you need to speak, you need to speak. You don't keep quiet. That is a no-no. Another thing that's quite similar to that is how can you start a conversation about mental health with friends without looking like you want attention? I think this is something I do actually get asked by loads of people. They go like, oh Poppy, how do I tell like my friends or your family, like how do I just say I'm like feeling like this? Because it is, if you're just sitting with them at lunch, you just go, oh by the way guys, I'm depressed. You know, you don't kind of just pop up the conversation like that, do you? I think it depends if your friends know about your mental health or know how you've been feeling. I think if they know, it's a lot easier, because you can just be like, guys, I've been having a bad day. But if they don't know, I think that initial conversation is tricky, because you don't know how they're going to react, you don't know how you're going to react, and even they're worried about how to react themselves. So I think it's kind of talking to them in a gradual way about it. Like, don't just go bleh, information, everything there. Just kind kind of, no, I was about to say slowly, don't do it slowly, but it's, you know, if you're maybe talking to one person, rather than if you have a group of friends, then telling all 4 people or whatever, or how many people there are, but just being recently, you can go up to that person and the one who like feel most closest with, and go, recently, you know, I've been feeling like this, or I've been struggling with this or that, or blah 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 blah, and I want you to know, but I just don't want to overwhelm you with information, or I don't want you to turn against me and stuff like that. And they probably, you know, your friends might have noticed something, because that happens so much. Your friends, you know, they could be there like, yeah, we know, Poppy, you've been feeling like, we've noticed how you've been acting, or this or that. Sometimes it's a relief for them, for you telling them, because they feel like they know, and they're kind of relieved that you said, and they know that there's something wrong, but they can help and it can change. This is something that I've done when talking to my mum a lot, is writing her like little letters, like little notes, being like, oh hi mum, I've really been struggling with this recently, or I've been feeling like this. And I think that's a really good way, because by giving you that on a piece of paper, they can read it and they can interpret it, and then they can then know how to talk to you. So instead of it just going like blah, right information there, they can think themselves how the best way to respond to you. So I would really recommend that. And then another thing I got asked is any suggestions for being more open about your mental health struggles with your family and therapist. Again, writing, literally, because especially if you've got therapy and you go along and in your head you're sitting there like, I must say this, 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 this and this, and you get in the room and they're like, oh, how's your day, how's this, and you've forgotten half the stuff you're going to say. Then they start talking about the point they might want to talk about, and then you've forgotten. It's just the time you get around and you don't know how to bring it up. So I would say, even if it's just writing a list to go, look, can you read this please, can we talk about this, or an actual like thing of how you're feeling and stuff like that. Or even if you're sending them a text, if you have their number before you see them, so they are aware in advance, and then they can think themselves about what to talk to you about, stuff like that. So I really, really would recommend writing. One thing that I do is I send my mum a text being like, oh hi, can you come upstairs and have a talk, or can we have a chat? And she can come upstairs and nobody else knows that, you know, it's nothing, it's not a big thing. And if you don't want to talk face to face, I'm having a text conversation, because they can just be sitting wherever around other people, nobody knows what they're talking about, nobody knows what you're talking about. So yeah, I always say, and even though I can't write for England, I would say writing your feelings, thoughts and what you want to tell people is a really good idea, and I really would recommend it. I also have somatoform disorder. So anxiety is one of my things that is, what was I going to say? I'm well known for it. Is that the best way to put it? I've been struggling with anxiety for a while. I was that kid in the playground who wouldn't leave their mum. I'd be screaming, I'd be kicking. You would have one teacher on one end, one teacher on the other end. I was not going to school. I literally was that person, and it just followed through pretty much to now in my life. So yeah, so I do have anxiety. I mean, I have got diagnosed, you know, general anxiety disorder, which is anxiety. I don't like to say all the fancy names, because I don't understand the fancy names. And I do also have quite severe panic attacks, which again I want to talk about more, because I kind of get embarrassed talking about my panic attacks, and even the words, I'm like, ugh, I don't know, I just feel funny saying it. But I also have somatoform disorder, and nobody really knows what that is. I mean, when I got given this piece of paper, when I was in inpatient, and I got given a piece of paper with my notes and all this on it, and it said somatoform disorder at the bottom, I was like, what's this? What's somatoform disorder? They're like, don't shout, Poppy. And I was there like, well, what's it? I didn't even know what it said. But basically, my best way of how to describe somatoform disorder is basically health anxiety. And I know people are going to be like, oh, you're a hypochondriac. No, I'm not. So what somatoform disorder is, it's a fear of health and being ill, but also I will have physical symptoms that I will big up in my head, but the thing is though, the symptoms aren't actually real, they're not actually there, it's just my anxiety that like creates them. The way I describe it is like a medical psychosis, because you're feeling a thing that's not actually, you've not actually got like something wrong with your hand. It's just your brain and your anxiety making something. So yeah, it's literally, it's horrible. It drives me insane. But it's also a fear of health, and it's something, it is one of the main things I do really struggle with, and it's something I will talk about, because I think a lot of people struggle with health anxiety and nobody really wants to speak about it because they don't feel like they can. But yeah, it's just something I do want to talk about. But like with anything medical, I was meant to go to a hospital appointment today. I didn't go. I just get myself so worked up about it, because I'm expecting them to tell me the worst thing. So I'm expecting them to literally go to me, right, you've got cancer, or right, you've got this, right, you've got that. And when I do talk about my somatoform disorder, I've had loads of things where I've gone to extreme extents because I've literally thought I've had that thing. Me and doctors, not really on the best friends. I'm also quite, do you know what, I think there's so many people that might watch this and be like, oh, I recognise her, she's the girl that literally kicks off in the doctors. I don't kick off in the doctors because I'm an angry person, or because I feel like kicking off, is because I get so anxious about going to the doctors. Even if I know the doctor, I'm like, I just sit there and I get angry at my mum because because I don't know what she's wearing or something like that, and I just pick on something really random, really small, and just like I get angry because I'm anxious. It's kind of my fight. It's like with the fight or flight. It's my way of fighting to get angry. So yeah, that's what somatoform disorder is, but that's my best way of describing what it is. Other questions I've got asked, but I've realised if I ask any more, this is literally going to be 3,000 hours long. So I will stop now. But I do really want to do another Q&A video. Oh, go away, fly! Where people can ask me more questions, and yeah, and also I want to be able to do like longer videos, more on one thing. So on anxiety, so a question that somebody would ask me about anxiety that I can talk for a whole video about. So yeah, so I hope this has given you a good little insight into me, into who I am, and into what I want to talk about and everything like that. I know I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I know some people are going to be like, right, shut up, really, please, you're really irritating. And I know that is the case, and I'm not going to be everyone's number one person that they want to listen to speaking. So yeah, but obviously I just want people to be able to respect me, because I will obviously respect you. And yeah, if there's any questions anyone wants to ask me, feel free to leave it in the comments or message me on Instagram or anything like that. And also any video suggestions and stuff like that. And I'm sorry this isn't the best quality, you know, film and setup and all that. Obviously, as the more I get into this, I will want to be able to get more technical and stuff like that. But I am trying to keep it real, and you know, I've not got loads of money to go splash out on a camera and stuff like that. But hopefully, just being able to listen to my views, suggestions and stuff will help. Also, I won't just be talking about mental health all the time. I also just want to talk about lifey stuff, you know, school, teenagery stuff, family, friends, and just kind of like general lifey stuff. I mean, please don't ask me to talk about politics or government or anything like that, because I don't have a clue. Literally not a clue, nothing's there. So if you want something all fancy or something like that, go and Eve Bennett, she's clever. She does like some politicky videos. Go and watch her videos. Don't watch mine, because I can't talk about anything like that. So yeah, if you want an intellectual, intelligent video, that's not what I can really do, because I can't really talk very intellectually about intellectual topics. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope I haven't bored you too much, and I hope I've been helpful in some way, even if it's just making you a bit more, brightened your day up, or felt you're not alone or anything. But yeah, and please subscribe. I'm not doing this for subscribers or anything like that, but I just want to help as many people as possible. And I know YouTube is a bit of a pain in the bum about not showing videos, so I know everyone goes put the notification bell on. So yeah, if that's the only way. I don't actually know. I've never really had a problem with people I've subscribed to on YouTube of them videos not coming up, but I know that can be a thing. So click on the notification bell if you want to be informed, and like it if you want to like it. If you don't want to like it, just don't like it. Like, what's the point? You're gonna waste a finger energy. So yeah, I hope you will have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video, which hopefully will be very soon. So yeah, and remember, you are worth it, you are strong, you are amazing, and everyone is special and, oh my god, this fly! Everyone is special and sparkles in their own way, but sometimes you just need help to be polished off, and you will find that sparkle again, but it's just sometimes not as easy to find as you thought it would be. So yeah.